Sometimes picking colors for your art can really make your brain hurt. So, do something easier. Generate them. On colors.co or colors.co, I honestly don't know how to pronounce it, you can generate a random color scheme for your art. So, that's exactly what I did. This is the palette that I ended up with. And I remember seeing a TikTok somewhere in my existence that said, you can get Copic colors from here too. So I played around with it, and then I found out that if you go to the view in the top right window and click on it, it'll give you a smaller window in the middle of the screen, and if you scroll down, it gives you the closest Copic color to that color match. So I tested it. From there, I took all 5 colors, wrote them down, and matched them to the markers that I had, which I didn't have. The third one, I think, was R21, so I just swapped it out for R20. They're supposed to be really close in tone anyway, so that was like an okay thing to do. When I was swatching them, I thought that they didn't look too similar, and that was my mistake. I shouldn't have thought that, because now looking at the swatches in like the view of this video, they do look almost like spot on basically. I decided to take a second row at that time again and see if I could find a color match for them that would work just as much or even better, and it didn't. The first row was actually pretty good. I'd like to say the only color that is kind of really off is probably RV95. It looks more pink than purple. RV69 isn't as or it's too bright, it's not as deep. R83 is pretty good, so is R20 and R11. But as for the ones that I picked, I'd like to say at this point that I'm just colorblind because none of them matched. No. No. I do want to say that the V22, I think, was a closer option. So, moral of the story, rely on the computer. It knows what it's doing in comparison. So I decided to kind of mix up the colors to see which one I wanted to use for the drawing. So I ended up with a mixture of the first batch, which the computer gave me, and then my batch, which I tried to match to, which again, now that I've seen, did not match at all. That was horrible. So next time when I do this again, I will definitely only use the colors that the computer tells me. Overall, I think that it did lighten the load up a bit from me picking the colors. If I had just let it do its job in the first place, then I wouldn't have taken so long trying to pick my batch of colors, but because my brain was like, I don't know if these match, and then once I saw them right now, I was like, yeah, they matched. It was me. So yeah, I did a little doodle just to test it out to see how it would work. Now, you don't necessarily have to use all the colors in that color palette, or you could use all of them, and you could use them throughout the drawing or however you wanted. I just wanted to really put them on a sweater because I'm feeling very sweaterly. I feel like sweaters. That's literally it. I feel like wearing and drawing sweaters. So that's what I did on this character. He's kind of just stretching it out from under and like looking at it, and he's like enjoying his sweater because he feels nice and warm and it's oversized. So I thought that was cute. The colors actually went pretty well together. I wouldn't think to put these colors next to each other because I feel like they would just be so far off, but they're actually not. They all stayed in the violet and red-violet range, except for R11 that was just red, but it kind of gives off like a kind of, I don't know, that tone, that peachy tone that usually can go with anything and everything. So there's that. I did use additional colors that I picked out for his skin tone, his hair, and his jeans, because I already had used all the colors in the sweater, and my brain was like, okay, why did we do that? That was a bad idea. Mostly because now, the way I think, not everybody's like this, but like the way I think is like, okay, he's already got all the colors centered right there on his shirt. I don't know how to like put it in the hair or the jeans without it looking like there's too much of one color or too little of one color. So I was like, okay, let's even it out by giving him like neutral hair, and then the jeans would be like a bluish kind of tone, and the skin tone was just peach just because I chose it. It was right there. So I think actually the peach, now that I'm looking at it, the peach skin tone would go good with like that little stripe of peach within his shirt, so that might have been a good choice. The next time I do this, I think I'm going to lay it out much smarter, because I just kind of went in and doodled with it just to see how it would feel in like the moment of just coloring. However, I should have planned it out a little bit better, not better, wow. I should have planned it out a little bit better and use the colors in different areas and kind of bring it all into one outfit instead of just putting it all into one section of the outfit. I do think, however, that this is a really good way to just kind of open you up to new colors or colors that you haven't used before, because like the way my brain works is I would have just done like all purples somehow, some way, but there was the random elements of instead of just only purple, there was a kind of peach color, there was really light purple to where it's almost pink or violet, and then deeper tones of purple as well. So I think that that's a good way to use this palette, is to open up your color horizons. I also think that this would be significantly easier if it was for digital art, because in digital art you can not only color match exactly for what you got, but you can play around with the range of colors way easier, and it would just be so useful to use in that case. With markers, it's super good to use too, though, don't get me wrong, because you could use it for basically anything at that point. And it's also probably almost any medium. Yeah, it's probably great for any medium. The way I used it though is just markers, because I really want to try and push myself to do traditional art, because it is harder, and it takes a lot more practice than digital art, I feel like, because it's a one and done deal. Once you make that line, you can't undo or anything. So that's the way I would use it. Overall, I think this wasn't a bad experience. I think I just messed up the drawing and I didn't do it the way I should have done it, which to me would be using all the colors throughout the entire outfit and making it almost like a part of the character's personality, then just making the character wear the color. So there's my example of what I would do. So yeah, thanks for watching, and remember, I love you. Bye.